Hi. The reason I was so focused on picking the Star of Greece was simply because I was at home by myself. I loved shipwrecks, but I wanted to write about something that everyone would understand. So I was home looking after you, so I picked the Star of Greece. And the Star of Greece, everyone knows it from the restaurant, but no one really understands anything more about it. In doing the research, I discovered that one of the sailors, one of the survivors, a guy called James Revell, was a distant but not directly related relative. The book itself took about 3 years to write initially, from the time I first started doing my research to going to the library, going to the museum at Wollonga, going to the museum, the Port Adelaide Maritime Museum, or the South Australian Maritime Museum as it's known now, digging through the archives. It was about 3 years of reading and research, and once I'd done that, I then sent it out to other people to give me some feedback on it, and then I realised that I could actually use the book to try and have the names of the dead missing sailors reinstated. So then I approached the National Trust at Port Wollonga and spoke to two people, a marine archaeologist named Mark Staniforth and his partner, and they both came on board and were quite willing to raise the public awareness to have a small brass plaque placed next to the gravestone of the sailors who were buried at the Aldinga Cemetery. So that began a campaign in and of itself to raise the money, and so that was another 18 months to 2 years. So from the time I started writing the book or researching the book to the time that the brass plaque was, or the copper plaque was unveiled at the Aldinga Cemetery, it was about 5 years. So perhaps the most rewarding part of it, apart from being able to spend time with my daughter, was to be able to right a wrong, because the captain of the Star of Greece, a guy called Henry Harrower, was blamed for being drunk at the wheel. And through my research, I managed to find out who had started the rumour, this scoundrel named James Revell, who was a distant relation but not directly related to us. And so I felt like I was righting a family wrong and restoring the name of the captain, as well as restoring the names of the people who had died. Been a tourist trail on the Star of Greece, starting in Port Adelaide and ending up at Wollonga at the Courthouse Museum.